I will never be one to speak for Verzal because he would slap me in the face if I was. But
I'm talking about his words.
No. If there's one thing I know about Verzal, he loves the nasty offensive lineman.
Oh, that's you got to do it.
And that is
He was one of them. He was one of them.
45, 40, 35, 40. He's gonna go. It's time, people. Feel it.
Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better. If we die, we die.
Man is pulling a child in that. Put him in the aisle.
Bring that trophy back to Lincoln.
There's another win.
It's another win. We're 5-1. The last time we were able to say we were 5-1, well, I guess we were 6-0, but still, it's been
everything dates back to 2016.
It's been at least 6-7 years since.
And everybody thinks Mike Riley was the worst fucking coach of all time.
2016 was 8 years ago.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I don't really care how we got here.
No.
If we were sitting here preseason talking about this and we said we were 5-1 going into the bye week, we'd all be excited about it.
Yep.
We'd all be excited about it.
I had us at 5-1 going into this bye week.
And a lot of us were questioning whether or not Rutgers was going to be the one loss we had in this first 6 games. And we would just been happy with however we got it.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody that's bitching and complaining about how we got here, take a little look in the mirror. Figure out what's wrong with yourself.
Or you see that game and it's 14 to say, oh, well, we barely won. No, we fucking won a close game. We won a 1-score game.
We won a Big Ten game.
But again, what was one of our biggest bugaboos for the last handful of years is 1-score games.
Against an undefeated team.
The fuck did we just do?
In a game where our freshman quarterback looked like a freshman quarterback for a good majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
In a game where both quarterbacks looked like shit, mostly just because of the fact that the weather was apparently way crazier than it looked on TV.
It was very windy.
It was pretty windy.
Yeah.
Every one of you that I've talked to that was actually there, I didn't feel like it would look like on TV. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with Dylan Raiola? Like, whatever. Calic Mannix, we know he's bad. What is wrong with Dylan? He won't throw anything past 10 yards. Like, does he have an injury? Is he ill? He looked like he might be ill. It looked confusing to me for a good majority of the game, and I don't know if that was part of the game plan was to keep him from throwing anything deep because of the wind or what have you. But he looked frustrated, uncomfortable. He looked like he didn't agree with a lot of the play calling that was going on because you see him, for some reason, they were zooming in on, they didn't have enough cameras to get anything else in the fucking stadium, but they were zooming in on him while he's outside of the huddle getting the plays thrown in. And I saw him at least 3 different times throughout the game, but it looked several more than that, where he was visually eye rolling, shaking off calls that were coming in, getting something different and moving on. I don't know if that's something that's common this is just the first time that I noticed it because I was being hyper aware of what's going on with Dylan or what. But he did not look like himself.
Well, there might have been a little disconnect between where Satterfield was sitting and how it was on the field. Because at least up in the stands, the wind was pretty crazy. Maybe Raiola was saying it wasn't like that and he wanted to open it up a bit more. I don't know. But the wind, at least from where I was sitting, was definitely pretty nuts. When we scored that first touchdown and they released all the balloons, it took like 2 more drives for all the balloons to get the fuck out of there. Because they just sat there swirling in the freaking stands.
On the south side of the stadium, the flag was blowing straight south. On the north side of the stadium, the 2 flags on the corners were blowing straight east. The flags on the uprights in the north side were not doing anything. They were just limp, like I usually am. And then the uprights...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The flags on the south uprights were kind of going all over the place. So it was everywhere.
Well, and if that's the case, I mean, Greg Schiano, in his postgame, was like, I've never played in a game like this. That was like hurricane winds, and there was no storm.
Yeah.
I don't know about hurricane winds.
Yeah.
Especially as we're
I'm
dealing
talking
with
about
hurricanes.
what he talked about.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm saying Greg Schiano, you sound silly.
He's also a Jersey guy. He doesn't know what Midwest winds are like. But either way, it sounded like it was really bad conditions to be throwing the ball whatsoever.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Dylan looked uncomfortable. Dylan looked slightly distraught or upset pretty much the whole game.
Have you guys noticed that everything seems to be more expensive these days? Whether it's Buying groceries, buying a new house, or maybe buying some awesome Husker tickets and going to the concession stand, everything has gone up in price. Well, we've partnered with Mint Mobile to find a solution that might free up some extra cash for you and maybe even upgrade your game day experience. I made the switch a few months back. It took about 15 minutes, and I got to say, I haven't noticed a drop off at all from my old carrier. They have plans starting as low as $15 a month. Coach Rhule likes to say, correct the correctables. We'll start with your budget and make the switch to Mint Mobile. Visit trymintmobile.com/BigRedJunkies to learn more and get one better today.
Maybe that was just with his own play, because there were a couple short, easy passes that he just straight up missed. Whatever it might be, maybe he was fighting a bug. Who knows? I don't think we'll ever know, but hopefully that's the only time we see that, because he did not look good at all out there.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of different reasons as to why he looked like a freshman. Other than, he is a freshman and he finally looked that way. We all knew that he was going to have some of these games, whether it's the weather, whether it's him being a freshman. Also, Rutgers is a good defense. I know I talked about it in the preview show. They're not flashy, but they're efficient. Like, even after this game, Max Olson has been doing this for the last couple of years, doing a stop rate for every team in the entire country. And Rutgers still, even after that game, now granted, we only scored 14 points, 2 touchdowns, but
both were in the red zone, though.
yes, they were. When we'll get to that in the questions. But Rutgers is still 14th in stop rate in the entire country.
That's impressive.
Granted, we're number 7, so we're doing pretty good too.
Impressive.
But,
Come on.
Well, they still lost.
but Rutgers is,
Losers.
Rutgers is still a really good defense.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Rushing defense-wise, their numbers are not great. They're some of the worst in the entire country. But again, they are efficient when they need to be.
Yeah, they bend
and that's
a lot.
the whole point of this stop rate thing.
They bend a lot.
Yeah.
And we moved the ball fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great day for passing. I think it was only, 140 yards passing if you take away the one punt that was a pass.
Yeah.
But we still moved the ball just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was frustrating for me to see, when you look at the box score afterwards, to not see Nayor's name on here on the receiving chart.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was targeted. I don't think he was.
Yeah, he had a couple.
He did have a couple targets, because
He had 4 targets.
okay, just no catches. And
Nope.
I mean, they were doing a good job on him, but we also weren't getting the ball out there.
No.
Yeah, we were sailing the ball a lot too. There was a lot of him putting the ball out of play.
Yeah.
Well,
At least
it was
from where I was sitting.
It was weird that, specifically there was one where a guy was wide open and he actually overthrew him. But one of the things we've been talking about is, as big of an arm as Dylan Raiola has, he underthrows a lot of balls. Now, I don't know if he was trying to play the wind on that one pass specifically or whatever, or try to overcompensate, but he sailed that one. But he just wasn't comfortable back there throwing the ball with the wind that it was.
I've been saying this now for going on 3 weeks. I'm going to get louder about it until I see something different. Dylan Raiola has a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
He can throw lasers. He has not thrown lasers this season. I don't know, this has to be a
Not
coaching
enough,
thing.
There's a couple
No,
of
I have
games.
not seen him zip a ball to anybody. Everything is all
A couple
touch,
weeks ago,
touch.
he had that one pass to Ja'Cory Barney that almost got Ja'Cory Barney killed. But Ja'Cory Barney caught that one. He zipped that one in pretty good.
I also don't know how you sidearm a touch pass.
There's been a few of them, but
I'm just saying,
not
the
consistent
majority
enough.
of the stuff that's gone over the top, there's a couple of them that if he just put it on the guy, he would have had him.
Mhm.
And we're laying some of these balls out there, and they're just in the air for so long that these defenders are having a chance. The Jalen Lloyd interception, not interception. The Nair interception, not interception in the end zone. Those are 2 balls that if you just put them on the guy, he probably makes the play and it's secured. That
again,
was
that's part of the
something they
growth.
brought up on the Cover 3 podcast.
Yeah.
The dude on there, the dark-haired dude with the glasses that absolutely just slobbers all over the knob of Dylan Raiola every time he gets the chance. He was talking about that after the Rutgers game as well. Just, I don't understand why he's throwing everything so soft.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, we just need them to be put on the guy, and it's like you just said, it's a growing thing.
It's part of
It's
the growth.
learning.
He's 18.
Yep.
Yeah. There's going to be things out there. And it also probably has a lot to do with the fact that he's been playing one way this entire time, and Rhule really does want him to throw on platform and throw more pro style specifically to a lot of these things that he would maybe choose to do a different way himself. Rushing the ball sucked still.
Yeah, it's not that great.
We just the line for some reason cannot figure out how to get a push.
They did.
They're not getting
they-
off the ball.
They did when Mazuka was in there.
He's not, and so
He
they're not-
was. He came in a couple times, and every
Yeah.
time he was in there, we ran the ball effectively.
Oh, I didn't really see that.
Every
I haven't gone
effective
back and
run that
watched
we
it
had in
again.
the game was when Mazuka was in the
Oh.
in the game.
I hope that he gets his shit together so that we can keep him in the game then, because our rushing offense without him is lacking.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter how hard Dante Dowdell hits whoever in the back, it's lacking.
your boy Vers was on Damon's show yesterday, and they were interviewing him, and that was his biggest point about the run game was figure out whatever the fuck you got to do with Mazuka to get him on the field, because he said the same thing. He's like, the only time that we were running the ball effectively was when he was on the field, and they're a totally different unit when he's out there.
Duct tape his mouth shut in team meetings or something. Just like
I will never be one to speak for Verzal because he would slap me in the face if I was. But
I'm talking about his words.
no. If there's one thing I know about Verzal, he loves the nasty offensive line.
Oh, that's you got to do it.
And that
He
is
was one of them. He was one of them.
that shocks me.
so yeah. That's why he wants Mazuka in there.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all want him in there for that reason.
I want him in
It's
there for
great
the
in a
reason
game.
of I want him in there for the reason of effectively running the football.
Yeah.
He's just got to figure out how to not do football outside of football.
Yeah, don't be hitting people. Over
Whatever
on the
his problem
defensive
is.
side of the ball, man, I couldn't be happier with the way the defense played. I don't think.
No. I mean, well, yes.
The first quarter
I was going to say,
sucked
that's where I was going to go.
But you know what? If you want to
Because I was
look at
getting lots of texts from you in that first quarter.
oh yeah, but if you want to look at
Yeah.
look at a case study on how to make adjustments in game
Yeah.
on a take away their star type situation, it can't get better than this is a case study for Tony White and everything that he did on this defense, starting from basically the 3-minute mark in the first quarter on.
Yeah.
They had 10 total yards on the ground after the clock turned over to the second quarter.
The first quarter, 8 carries for 62 yards or 64 yards. And the second and third quarter combined, he had also 8 carries for 1 yard.
That's insane.
Like,
That's insane. You're talking about the leading running back in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Not the leading running back in FBS or FCS or NAIA or wherever else you're coming from.
Yeah.
That's a big boy running back that a lot of people were talking about going, top 3 or 4 in the draft.
well, and again, not just a big boy running back, a big boy offensive line that could run block their ass off.
Now,
Yeah.
It wasn't just about the running back.
we do have to mention that they kind of went away from the run a little bit
Yeah.
after the first quarter, and I'm not sure why.
I
Because it was working
don't know either.
so well.
It's not like they were getting blown out.
So,
Like, what are you
yes, we made
doing?
adjustments and we did great when they did run the ball,
Yeah.
but they also kind of helped us out, and I don't know why.
Well, exactly what happened is what we talked about needed to happen, which is us go up 2 scores on them and force them to start throwing the ball. Try and come back.
Yeah, but even then, even before we got up 2 scores, they went away from the running
Yeah.
game. It was just weird. I know it wasn't working really because again, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
8 carries for 1 yard in two quarters in the middle of that game, but like you didn't have to completely abandon it like you did.
8 carries. That's it.
You also had to like Monangai was their only back. They didn't have anybody else to go
whoever
to, and he
whoever
was
that
getting
kid-
hit up.
The Samuel Brown, he's a good running back. He just nothing. I mean,
But
He
they only
has-
gave him 3 carries.
I know.
He has like 0 size.
Yeah.
And so when he was in the game, he kind of just got lost and hit the ground.
It was strange. I was excited on our running game side of things to see Emmett Johnson get some more shots, but he was in there on stuff that just didn't really pop for him.
He is still by the numbers our best running back.
Well, not by the numbers.
Not by the numbers
But
on this game.
by looking
He
at it.
averaged 2.4
Overall,
carries. yards
He
per
is
carry.
averaging more yards than anybody else
Oh, I
for a running back.
because Dowdell has more yards. That's why.
Yeah,
I was-
Dowdell has
okay.
more than double his carries.
Yeah. Okay.
True. Not in this game.
I guess when you said by the numbers, I didn't know which
By the numbers
you were
on the
looking at.
season.
Okay. No, but I mean, you could say yards per carry. You could say total yards. You could say touchdowns. I didn't know which specific numbers you were speaking of.
Honestly, in this game, I thought Ramir Johnson looked like the best back on the field. He had some electric stuff. It was in that third quarter where he had a couple gashers out there. But as far as the rest of it goes, I mean, John Hull didn't miss a field goal.
He also didn't attempt one.
I know. That was kind of the joke.
Brian Buschini started the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no shit.
I was just about to get to him. He was the light at the end of the tunnel on this one because it really started to feel like after we scored that second touchdown, it's like, all right, I don't really know where this game's going.
Did you guys hear Isaac Gifford after the game?
I didn't listen to it, no.
So he was asked about the fake punt, and he said, yeah, I thought it was a touchdown when he threw it because how open Jalen Lloyd was. And then he actually says, just to bust his teammates' balls, he goes, too bad Jalen Lloyd can't make a guy miss. It's just like, oh, damn.
Yeah, fine. Light a fire under his ass. He's been underperforming on the year anyway. I would love to see him get. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the wideouts, everybody underperformed in this game,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's not necessarily on them. Like we talked about, they couldn't
I
really
was
get
just
a ball
about
to
to say
him.
that. So, I mean,
Also-
yes, they underperformed, but so did their quarterback to try to get them the ball. So it's not completely on them.
I'm
But
pretty sure it's the first time we've seen it, though. Jamal Banks caught a ball and ran afterwards.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he
have
did
legs
have
after he
half the
catches.
field to himself and still only got like an additional 8 yards. But he did actually have legs after he caught a ball. It looked almost like a baby deer that just came out of his mom.
I don't-
Wobbly.
We don't condone that comparison. That's on him.
Anything else we want to touch before we get into the questions?
I think we've touched this one enough.
Yeah. I'm not even going to go there. I had 1,000 comments to go through my head. None of them were appropriate enough to say. We'll just go into the questions. Will Nebraska score a touchdown in the first quarter? I asked that question because Rutgers had only allowed 3 points in the first quarter all season. Obviously, we did score. Everybody got a point on that one. Everybody said yes. Who will have the most touches? Ramir, Emmett, Dante, or Ja'Cory Barney? It was a tie between Dowdell and Emmett Johnson. Us three took Emmett. The fans took Dowdell, so everybody wins on that one because we're not doing a push on that one. That might be coming up in a couple of seconds. Red zone scoring offensive percentage. I put it at 75.5. I thought we'd get in there like 5 times and score 4, so I said 80%. It was 100%. I was the only one to take the over on that one. What will be more, field goal attempts by Nebraska or touchdown passes by Raiola? Both of them are zeros on this one. Everybody took touchdown passes, so I'm not giving anybody points on that one. Kyle Monangai rushing yards, 99.5. He had 78. Us three took the under. The fans took the over. You guys are stupid.
Idiots.
We still love you, though.
Let's see. Second
If
half.
you want to prove you're not stupid, hit that like button.
Yes. Second half,
shameless
third down
plug.
conversion for Nebraska, 33.3%. We had 36.8 for the game, 50% for the first half. Second half was 22.2%. I was the only one to take the under on that one. I did pretty good this week.
Jerking himself off.
Wait, what was the over-under set at?
33.3.
And we were over that, right?
No, we
No,
were
we were
under
under.
22.2.
Oh, second half.
Just in
got
the
it.
second half.
Man.
Got it.
Because we were like,
I thought it was for the game. That's my bad.
yeah. Because we were like 33.3% for the entire season in the second half. So, last question was Nebraska tackles for loss. I will give you credit because I said 5.5 on this, and you said you took the over, and you said I'd put it more at 8. Matt and I both thought you were absolutely nuts, and we had 9. So congratulations on that one. BJ, you and the fans took the over. As far as the points, BJ, you had 4. Matt had 3 right. I had 5 right. Fans had 3 right. So I won this week. So far through 6 weeks, we're not doing that great, except for you. And the fans are doing pretty good. The fans are at least over 500. Out of 47 questions so far, BJ, you have 20. Matt has 26. Matt has 26. I have 22, and the fans have 24.
Matt, you're over 50%. That's impressive.
The fans are over 50% as well. They're 24 and 23.
That's impressive.
So I'm just below that at 22 and 25.
Fucking take it.
But
50% plus in gambling is tremendous.
Yep.
So
Yeah. So if anybody wants to buy my picks,
pat yourselves on the back, hit the like button if you haven't already hit it yet.
but between us three, Matt, you have a commanding lead.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's just 4,
You got
that's
almost a whole
commanding-
game. You got almost a whole game.
Yeah.
we're doing great.
The only other couple things that I want to mention
Goodbye.
here is I don't know how you can't bring up a couple guys on defense specifically for their individual performance. John Bullock with another great performance, but Isaac Gifford, this is by far his best game he's played.
He's needed one.
This was the first game that I felt like he looked like himself from last year out there. The question started to come up a little bit in my mind early in this game, and especially in our game against Purdue. Did he damage his draft stock by coming back for this year? Because it didn't look good so far this year. He'd been a reason for some head scratching. But the guy you really have to tip your cap to, well, I guess one more guy, yeah, two more guys here.
2 guys.
Before I get to the one, Sayer Wright.
Yeah.
Tony White already alluded to it that he's damn near getting a black shirt as is. Tommy Hill comes back, Bly Hill comes back. Everybody's 100%. I still don't see how you keep Sayer Wright off the field as a starter right now.
I don't either.
Not after this last week.
You put him opposite Tommy Hill, and that is a dangerous ass cornerback set.
Yeah.
That's dirty. That's real dirty. But I know you want to kind of splooge all over the place about this guy, so I'm just going to let you go ahead because anybody that missed it, James Williams had himself a fucking game. Yeah, especially a fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And the kid is just so easy to like.
Mm-hmm. I can't gush over him enough because this is a kid that at the beginning of the season, when one of our preseason shows, I made a comment that with one of our season questions, typically I like to do who's going to lead the team in sacks. And I said, if I do that question, I ended up not doing that question, but that's not the point. I said, there's a good chance that I might take James Williams as far as leading the team in sacks this year. He's currently tied for first with sacks. And really, that's just in these last 2 games where he's got 4 sacks total now. But I'm sitting there with my cousin at the game, and that last drive for our defense is out on the field, and there's like a timeout, a TV timeout, or whatever it is, and I tell my cousin, I go, number 90 right there, he's at the bottom, watch him. First play, he does what he does, he wrecks shop, whatever. He's like, oh shit. And I go, watch him again, he's still out there. Boom. I like that entire last drive. If you want to see the epitome of James Williams being James Williams, just watch that drive over and over and over again because he destroyed that entire drive. And it was just a nonstop watch 90, watch 90. If he's on the field, watch 90. Man, and then him coming
Especially
out
when
there.
they get into those positions where they have to throw the ball.
Yeah. Well, and that's typically where he's in because he's still working on his run defense. He will even say
he is
that,
a lot of why we got destroyed in the run game in the fourth quarter of the Illinois game.
Yeah.
They were waiting for him to run right past the running back to lay handoff, let's go.
And then him coming out after the game in his little post-game press area. He wasn't at the podium, but he was kind of one of those side ones, and he's saying what he said, and everybody kind of latched onto it because he talked about his personal struggles that he had last year and what Terrence Knighton means to him and everything else, and everybody's like, holy crap, what the hell happened to him?
Yeah, then everybody's Googling, like, what the fuck happened to James Williams?
Which I'm kind of thinking that sometime in the next handful of days, we're probably going to get a story about him.
Probably.
By one of the media
Mitch
members.
Sherman, probably.
Whatever. But, I can't say enough about James Williams. I just love watching him play. Like, he plays with a fire in his ass, and it shows.
He made a mess earlier talking about him. It was great.
Has nothing to do with the fire in his ass.
Nope.
Though.
Nope.
One last thing to point out, just because you brought up sack leaders and things like that, Nebraska's number 5 in the country right now with 20 sacks on the season, only 4 behind Ole Miss as the leader. So the boys are getting back there.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the job. We asked, are we going to get to that 40 and 20? I don't know where we are on
10.
We're at 10.
We're literally
so
halfway
at
there.
the
both
halfway
sides.
mark of the season, regular season, We are at the halfway mark.
I was going to bring
on-
up
at
that up
20
for our
and
next
10.
show since we're
My
doing
bad,
the recap.
my
but
bad.
That's cool.
It's something that you just brought up the sacks, and it's,
Yep,
and it's exciting.
it's cool.
Just
that's
a fun little teaser as we
Yep.
go into our
And I was
next
going to
show.
say that's a great teaser. Tonight this is Wednesday night. We are recording this. We're getting into a show recapping the first half. We're going to do a show previewing the second half with a schedule and predictions. We're also going to do a superlative show and talk about our biggest surprises and biggest whiffs in the first half of the season. So look out for those.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.